through the whole country. And I think the challenge of us is how we're going to conserve this in order to pass it on to the next generation. I think that's the main key of the workshop today. And I think before we go deeper in subject, we should at least understand why we call share heritage. And I think when we look back, when the whole world has no borders, people can travel to the new land to meet new people. They bring their knowledge together and also build up and adapt themselves into a new environment. And then where knowledge is sharing together in terms of construction, building, food, agricultural, and other so on. And I think shared heritage here is about how the heritage sharing in terms of knowledge, know-how, including technology and also craftsmanship. And in terms of heritage nowadays, I think we must fair to the others. I mean, fair to the people in the past, our ancient, and fair to the future with the young generation. At least they have the right to handle this heritage together. They should have the right to understand this heritage as similar meaning when it constructs, and then how we the process of conservation as well as adaptation into a new use, because requirement of the building is changing all the time, right? And to look at shared heritage, I think this is the most stunning image for me, because you see all the Chinese builder standing there, but actually designer is European, and also the owner is Thai. So they all mixing together. And I think that's where the start that we share, because even you see the looking building in European styles, but actually all the details, especially wood and craftsmanship, it's Chinese. That's a fantastic point, right? And I think by the end of the 1920s, I think there are many typology of this kind of heritage in Thailand, because at the time when the King Rama IV, Rama V, Rama VI, the country was under civilization idea, and then the new building typology were invented. Many of them, school buildings, library buildings, museum, offices, train station, and some of them look already toward where they are and who is designer. Yeah, you see many of them, offices, train stations, and they're all different looking due to the designer, location, scale also as well. We also have a lot of shop house surrounding the local market where people living and working together, and also sometimes it's close by the palace or even the train station, because they use boat and train for travel at the time. Religion building, some of you have been there, or some palaces, hospital as well. And later, this building always changing their use. For example, the one here, Bangkok Paris, where you went last few days, it used to be a school, and it's also used to be an offices as well before it's become a museum. The Wang Na Palace is here. Have you been to the National Museum? National Museum, National Art Gallery. The Koi Factory was converted into
art gallery. We went just saw this morning.
Okay. Right. And after, I think the turning point is after 1982, with the occasion of 200 years of Ratanakosin era, conservation was proposed to a number of important buildings. And what we see here, many of them, including the palace, Parusakawan Palace that you went to, and the other buildings, including the Grand Palaces and elsewhere in the area of Nakosin area were proposed as a major conservation work at that time. And then I think that was an important settlement for conservation in Thailand. And this kind of work is continuing until today, especially for the important building. Right. But on the other hand, these situations that are occurring when the building has been assessed less value than the others, maybe because of wrong decision or coincidentally or misunderstanding, or even the new development that Luke already told us about that, or even the wrong process. And that caused demolition or loss of the buildings. And I think this is could be a good map. What you see is the Ratanakosin Island over there. Yeah, but the business area is also on top of this, and the rent, the land price is very, very expensive these days. And it came up to me here what we should do in terms of conservation is really difficult because it's opposite to another side that we call protection and also development. But we're going to, I think one thing we should understand at least our identity in order to preserve and also protect it, and also enhancement, a good program for uses, and also the program for people that can access this building, like everyday use or that simply used for that. And this building will be gone soon, I think. So sadly, right. After this is part of my research that published last year. I try to at least understand how conservation settle in Thailand, especially conservation, important building, lower important building, or even the shop house, in terms of conservation and adaptation, and what kind of use that these type of building occur in them, and how they continue as a good program for the buildings. That is very important because when you have the wrong program, the building is ending quickly. And once it's redundancy, it's become a problem. All right. Most of the important building has museum use, and they have a good care with a good scheme of protection, maintenance. Maintenance is also very, very important for the building because it's not just people start to conserve the building or conservation process, but after that it's even more important because how the manager of the building, how occupancy in that building can cope with the building. Because sometimes when you staying in the historic building, you usually have like leaking or rising dam. That's or sometimes rainwater. This is quite normal for a historic building. And also the others is for cultural activity that you just visit the art gallery of the university. And also coming up here, a lot of commercial building is rising trend in the country at the moment. And some of building can cope very well with the new use as sometimes hotels or cafe. But the owner have to spend quite a big amount of money in order to improve the place to be a good standard for reuse again. All right. The concept also variety because sometimes the idea of using is just replacing the place because they want to preserve such a partition of time. But on the other hand, it's maybe not healthy for the user who has to sit in there. But I think it's a challenge for the designer how we go into balance with the concept of design because we want to present a tracing of time in this such a wonderful space, but sometimes it's too old and it's not safety for use as well. But last week or last 2 weeks, I took my student to the place in Talat Noi, Yawarat area. This looking building is, I think it should be Chino, but it's influence of the Chinese shop house, but I don't know which country should mix. But anyway, it's and the owner spent quite a large amount of money in order to refurbish this.
Where is this again?
Talat Noi.
Yeah, it's in which part of Thailand?
Bangkok, just
Bangkok.
Yawarat.
Yawarat.
Yeah, you can visit there. Such a good place for refurbishment. And also you can see the others. This one is in Sathorn area, but the owner rent this place and converted into a showroom. This is quite nice as well. But in a way, if you want to use the building in good standards, mean you have to spend quite a large amount of money in order to restore and also adapt it in terms of design and also planning of the place as well. Right. But in Thailand, it's really popular about the new trend is rising now is adaptation and decoration because all historic houses has become new destination for photos and So many old house in the whole country start to have a new program like a cafe or a restaurant. And also such a nice place that if you have time could probably visit this Sunday is Peeraya Palace. And this is the coffee shop at the front, Northern Cafe. Very beautiful and a very good care of this place, conservation and adaptation. And I think one thing that we also have to discuss here is about the craftsmanship and also method and a good process and also resource. I think I'm not sure about the situation in Malaysia or the other countries, but I think nowadays in many countries the craftsmanship is the number is getting shorter, and also we need some kind of good training and also sharing a new or inventing a new knowledge that can sustain this kind of building. I think I'm going to keep this short. I think the challenge here in Bangkok and the other places of Thailand conservation area is expensive land price and also monetary issue that cost of demolition of this building, and also the challenge is how we can create such a good program that's conceive such a sustainable use, and also what kind of method that we can balancing between the new development and also conservation, because conservation maybe sometimes is very expensive, but funding is also needed. And to conclude it here, I think to protect our shared heritage is at least to understand the past, the present, and the future, and the way that we should assess this value, like a shared value, understand its beginning, its transforming through time, and how we going to forward this into the future. And I think the most important thing that we need not only funding, but strong regulation and planning permission here is also needed in order to preserve and conserve our heritage to the future generation. Thank you.
Thank you.